We're gonna go ahead and tag Saul Luckman in this video. I highly recommend you guys check out his Substack and his art, his writings, everything. So I'm gonna tag him on the platforms I put this on where he is present, but Saul Luckman, S-O-L Luckman. Go check him out. This is something I drew yesterday at sunset out here on the ranch. The tree is holding it for me, thank you, tree. We talked about with Saul sort of this concept of the philosopher's stone, and what he talked about is that he recapitulates traumas and things like this, even little minor inconveniences, which I love because it all adds up, into his philosopher's stone, which sits right here in his solar plexus area, and then he's able to alchemize that into a golden liquid, which then he can use later on. Now, when Saul and I were talking about this, it stuck in my craw, and I've thought about it a lot. So Saul, thank you so much if you end up watching this, dude. The way that I picture this, and I don't know about y'all, but I got this little fucking, let's say, demon guy up here, okay, in my head, and he sort of routes what's occurring. Now, the only thing I would have done different with this drawing is to invert it, put this on his left side. So as it says in the Bible, cast your net to the right side. This is his right, but anyway, that's, if you invert this, go with the model, okay? This dude gets to flip a switch, you know, or this is just how I visualize it again. I'm not trying to be a victim here or anything. This is a visual representation of how energy is received, okay? So let's say that if we go with this metaphor here, this dude, who's kind of a dick sometimes, you can't trust, that's the tale, switches this one way or another. Now, for me, it's been switched in the other position until Saul and I talked about this. And it seemed that whatever this dude sent made it to my mouth, and I was kind of a dick sometimes. It made it to my heart, and I let it be there when it didn't need to be. It made it to my solar plexus, and I didn't feel safe, and on down the line. But if you think about that, then at any point in the system, there are these little expenditure valves, right? You could blow that shit off before it makes it to your mouth by just deciding it's not true. You could blow it off before it gets to your heart. Again, same thing. Even if it makes it to your mouth, you say some shit you didn't want, then maybe you've got a chance to remove it at that point. But what I was thinking about with this system is, again, you have blow off valves before it reaches any part of the system. But let's say that this dude maybe only has the switch there because you've told it to be there, and because you've allowed this to come here, you didn't know that maybe you had some other use in this spot. And this is where Saul's sort of invitation to see things differently meets where this drawing was inspired to come to. So in here, I've got a little machine. It's like a steampunk sort of machine here, and all the things that come in end up bouncing around inside of this crystal vortex here, and then it's extracted after going into the machine. So it gets sucked into the machine here, bouncing around, sucked into the cool machine here, steam and all sorts of stuff going on, and then it's extracted down here where these bees have all of these little jars of honey, and then there's the catacombs in which it is stored, but it can also be immediately in use. And if you notice here, there's a lot of right angles, there's a lot of industry over here. Over here, this is more flow. This has no right angles. This allows you to fill your heart with this and then send it on up, and maybe you speak kindly. Maybe it's about yourself at first. Then maybe you come up here and send this little guy some and say, keep it on that side because I'm digging this reroute. And that's what this is. This is what Soul made me think about. So I've flipped this switch to where now, instead of taking all this shit seriously and taking seriously what the gods made for fun, right, Ben? Then it seems that whenever you eject this way, you have a direct line, if you'd like to have it, to your philosopher's stone machine here that allows you to alchemize this, turn it into your liquid, and be used later. I love it too because I drew a little guy named Phil Stone right here. That's this guy's little bee. He's in charge of this shit, and he knows what he's doing. So this is just simply a representation of something that I was thinking about after my conversation with Saul Luckman. Again, highly recommend you guys go check out his work. It's incredible, everything. So thank you, Saul. This is sort of a very just simple explanation of this. So try your philosopher's stone out. You know, next time you get something in your head or some bullshit or whatever, maybe instead of passing it through this side, maybe you throw the switch and run it through your philosopher's stone and get some honey out of that. Because all of that's a gift, I feel now, bigger than ever, to not trigger you, but to trigger this mechanism in you. Because this is the true alchemy right here. This is the philosopher's stone. Of course, it's not going to be found out there. It's within you. So take it for a ride, guys. See what you think. Again, thank you, Saul Luckman, and check out Expanding Reality.